everyone, I'm senior video producer Jeff McCobb, and we are back with another CinemaBlend Roundtable reaction because it was just announced today that Oscar Isaac is going to be the MCU's Moon Knight. Now, I'm just stoked that Oscar Isaac is coming to the MCU. That's amazing. He's like one of those ultra popular geek actors that hasn't yet taken on one of those superhero roles. So now I'm super stoked. I just wanted to go around the room and get some early reactions to this news. Erik Swann, how do you feel about Oscar Isaac taking on Moon Knight?
Jeff, guys, I have to be honest. I did not see this one coming. Oscar Isaac, obviously a big part of the Star Wars franchise.
Why ever would you say that, Erik? I can't believe that Oscar Isaac would have anything but love for them.
I mean, he seemed to have enjoyed his time in the Star Wars universe, but, they parted on slightly off ways, and he's made some comments. But it seems that the Marvel Studios was able to draw him back in for this role, and it's hard. I can see why. It's such a great role, such a delicious role. I mean, Mark Spector, he's a Marvel character who spans back to the 70s, the wayward son of a rabbi who goes from being a boxer, becomes a mercenary in Africa, in Egypt more specifically, overseeing a dig, and then he and the crew are betrayed. And then during that time, he comes into contact with the moon god Khonshu, I believe that's how it's pronounced, and then in exchange for his life, he gets a second chance, but he agrees to become the avatar of this spiritual being. And with that, when he gets back to the States, he makes a costume and he becomes the masked vigilante hero known as Moon Knight. And what's very notable about Moon Knight is that throughout the course of his comic book history, he's adapted different aliases. And with that, in later incarnations, he begins to develop a multiple personality disorder. So this is something. Right. This is huge for the MCU because we've never had a hero who has dealt with mental illness. So I think this is going to be very interesting to see how they tackle that.
People are wondering also if there's going to be some overt Judaism, right? Because Oscar Isaac said that he has a Jewish heritage, Jewish ties, even though he's not he wasn't raised with it necessarily, but he said it's like a big part of his culture. So that would be huge for representation in general, right? If we had like a Jewish Marvel superhero.
Oh my gracious, absolutely. I mean, that would be great to see. I mean, we're about to get a Muslim superhero. I mean, and Kamala Khan, so this is just another step in this nice wave of diversity that Marvel Studios is finally starting to adapt, and it's just so great to see it. And Oscar Isaac, it's funny, Marvel does this all the time. Like, everyone fan casts an actor for a role, and then they just come and throw on another actor at you, and then you just go, wow, that made sense. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
Why did we ever think of this? Alison Brie as She-Hulk? What if we gave you a Tatiana Maslany?
Exactly.
Yeah. Erik had mentioned that he has like some mental issues, and he takes on these various roles, and Oscar Isaac is such a versatile actor that if we don't know what aspects of that lore they're going to incorporate into the MCU character, but you can imagine how he would kill that if we see, Oscar Isaac as a superhero with multiple personality disorder. That would be wild.
Insane. I mean, the man's a chameleon. I see Mike is probably just thinking about all the possibilities. I mean, he can play one role in like Sucker Punch. He can play another role in Ex Machina. He can play a role in A Most Violent Year. If we can see a combination of those kind of performances in Moon Knight alone, that'll just make the show for me. I'm so excited. As you can tell, I'm so excited.
Mike, what was your reaction to the casting news?
I have to mirror a lot of what Erik said. Just excited. I mean, one of the things that I've always loved about the sort of this new age of superhero projects and movies is the fact that they're casting with such a pedigree, and they're even bringing in talent with like equally impressive pedigrees. And like he just said, Oscar Isaac, you watch him in movies like, in Sucker Punch alone, he had 2 different roles, and that wasn't exactly, that is the same sort of thing that we're going to be dealing with in Moon Knight, but it's a nice primer for, okay, the man can clearly keep these separate tracks going over time. But I can't get over Oscar Isaac, Marvel Cinematic Universe. I mean, I'll show up for whatever the dude does, and Most Violent Year especially is severely underrated. And this almost feels like a big thank you from Disney because they really did underutilize him in the Star Wars films. I know that there's going to be a lot of extensive canon that he's mentioned in and he's a part of. He's got books, he's got this. I get that. That's not what we were kind of promised on screen. And it's nice to see them lure him back. It's like, look, we've got another long-term gig for you, and this time, you know, you're front and center. You had to play this interesting character. I mean, reading into the different personalities is okay. What if Bruce Wayne was a millionaire, but then another part of him was a cabbie, and he just what if he was Batman and Lucius Fox? Like that right there just excites me.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely wild. I mean, we all love Ex Machina, you know what I mean? In our kind of
that
like
dance,
film
man.
geek community. I mean, everyone loves that dancing scene. I know, it's just incredible.
Oh my gracious.
He's so good in it too. And I love Inside Llewyn Davies. I mean, I'm a huge Coen fan. You know, that's like, that role is so subtle, and then Poe Dameron's over the top, and he's got so much range, and I just can't, it's like the perfect character for him. like Eric said, like, why didn't we think of this? Like, this is perfect.
I just don't know. I mean, and I just want to say too, it's so exciting to think that like this is going to have so much potential for him going forward. You know, this is an investment for Marvel. You know, this is telling them, okay, we're going to take this character, we're going to give you your own limited series on Disney Plus, and then we're going to bring you over to the big screen where you'll more than likely rub shoulders with the Avengers. I mean, this is huge for him, and it speaks not only to Marvel, but it speaks also to Isaac and willing to commit to such a long, you know, what could be a very long deal. So I think this means he's in it for the long haul, and they obviously pitched it to him in a way that just spoke to him. And like I said, it's just such a delicious character. I don't know who, if offered the role, I don't know who wouldn't want to play this character.
Yeah, well, it's also probably very intimidating. Eric, do we know yet when the series is coming to Disney Plus, or is that still up in the air?
That is still up in the air as of right now. I haven't heard of a release date, but with these announcements recently, obviously we got the She-Hulk casting, we got the Ms. Marvel casting, and now a lot of people, including myself, assume that this will be coming down the pipeline soon. So I think this is a way of saying this is probably going to go into pre-production very soon. And just going off my estimation, I wouldn't be surprised if this starts filming as early as next year, and maybe possibly a 2022 release date. That's just an estimation on my front.
Wow. Well, I mean, we will certainly keep you guys updated as more news comes to light. Keep the conversation going in the comments below. Let us know if you're stoked, as we are, on Oscar Isaac's casting as Moon Knight. While you're down there, be sure to hit subscribe, turn on your notifications. Eric, Mike, thank you for joining me.
Of course.